Welcome to the KUIS8 podcast. Thank you for joining. This is the KUIS8 podcast, which will be every month, and it will be teachers and sometimes students discussing different topics. Students, you can offer topics to us. You can give us topics to talk about. So please do. Each podcast will be about 10 minutes and will include a transcript, so you can follow that and read it to help improve your English. Okay, let's jump in. We've got 4 teachers today. These will be regular teachers on the podcast. On my left, we have...
Hi, I'm Roe and I'm from the Philippines.
Nice.
Hi, I'm Derek. I'm from UK.
Hello, my name is Pratik and I'm from India and I will be moderating our discussion today.
And I am Mike and I'm a teacher from Wales in the UK also.
Woohoo!
Yep.
All right,
Nice.
should we get started?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Let's do it.
What are
To
we
our
talking
first
about
topic.
today, Pratik?
Something very interesting. I was thinking about friendship last night and I thought maybe we can get teachers' views on friendship. So the first question I have for all of you is, are you a social person?
Ooh. I know Derek not that well, unfortunately. I wish I knew better. Busy man. Derek's very social,
Oh,
I think.
yeah. Thank you very much. I've never. Well, I've not always been kind of this social. I consider myself a very sociable person, but I wasn't at school. So at school, I was very shy. Very shy.
Interesting.
Very, very shy. Very quiet, and I really didn't have many friends at school. So just only a few.
What was the change?
Actually, the change was actually something called hypnotherapy.
Hypnotherapy.
Wow.
Very, very, very.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, well, I went to a few hypnotherapy sessions to kind of look at my kind of personality traits and things. And yeah, it was really strange. But I kind of changed the way I was. And this was many, many years ago. But it really helped me become more sociable, the hypnotherapy sessions. And now I wouldn't say I was crazy sociable, but I can, talk to people. And I think talking is a good way to meet new people and meet friends.
That's true.
So,
Interesting. So I think people are born social, or they can acquire that quality.
Right.
It's like Derek did. How about you, Roe?
I'm a little bit like Derek in the sense that when I was in school, I was also pretty shy. But just like what you said, Pratik, I think for me, it was a conscious decision to be more social. I studied in an all-girls high school, and it was so comfortable because it was just girls everywhere. So I really didn't have to worry that much about talking to guys or boys. But when I went to university, I knew it was like a completely different playing field. So I told myself that I have to make more of an effort to be more social. So I joined a lot of organizations. The classes were mixed, of course, female and male students together. And the organizations that I joined led me to talking to more people. And I didn't join just one. I was in the student council, in the dance group, and so on. So these places have different groups of people. And from there, you kind of like branch out to even more groups of people.
Right.
So I think it was a conscious decision for me to be more social. It wasn't easy at first, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm still generally a shy person.
Really?
Yes. So I greet people and I'm very like, hi, good morning, and all that. But that's just like my facade.
Okay.
But when it comes to other things, I can still be pretty shy, or I get very conscious about, oh, is it okay if I ask Mike to go to his gig or something? It's still something that I work through. So being social takes an effort, and I also need time away from people.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go.
I think what's come out of you two is that one can obviously make an effort to become more social, right? I'm curious to know what Mike thinks here.
Yes.
Although I think I do know the answer.
We
but
kind of
I'm-
have an idea already.
Yeah,
You seem so shy, Mike.
I know.
always.
I'm so scared. I can't even open the door in the morning sometimes to leave the house. It was pretty funny. Last year, someone described me as aggressively friendly.
Yeah.
Right? Aggressively friendly.
Wow.
And I thought that was a perfect description.
Yeah.
And for me, I learnt it from my parents,
Mm.
big time. My mother used to be a BBC reporter,
Mm.
and her job was to go to different countries, interview people. She interviewed Black Sabbath twice she interviewed them. And
Wow.
yeah, I know. If you don't know Black Sabbath, everybody, it's a UK punk rock band that were
So famous.
so famous and awesome back in the
It's
80s.
amazing.
70s. Yeah. So she's always been really open and talked to everybody. She's really good at giving conversation and asking good questions and really getting good information from people. And she really enjoyed it. And I think I saw her with really good energy and really enjoying connecting with people and like getting the best out of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I learned the same. And my father was exactly the same. He's a priest, and he's a really eccentric priest.
Wow.
Eccentric means a little bit unusual and kind of interesting, usually quite in a positive way. Right?
Yes.
He's does a lot of jokes, and he's always laughing, and he does lots of funny voices in the church when he's doing sermons and things. And he's always really, really positive as well. So I think I've it's been modelled.
I think
By them.
you've got the best of the two,
Yeah,
isn't it?
lucky. I was also a little shy when I was younger.
You don't say.
Yeah. When I was in school, I think maybe one of the things was I had a bit of acne on my face, and it made me a bit self-conscious. So I didn't always want to talk to people, a lot of people, if they were looking at me. I got a little embarrassed about that. But my mother made me do acting.
Oh.
Wow. Okay.
And at first I was very nervous about it. I was quite stressed about it. But after doing it a few times, I quickly learned that people aren't really just looking at one point on my face or anything. They're looking at all my actions and listening to my stories and listening to the person next to me. You act with other people. And very quickly you learn that you're not the only person that they're looking at. They're looking at everybody, and everybody also has that same feeling of, everyone's looking at me.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like self-conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great acting class that you took.
Yeah.
Giving you that kind of perspective.
My mum was the teacher.
Oh, your mom is a teacher.
She's a drama
okay.
She's a teacher and a reporter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
She transitioned from
Interesting.
reporting to teaching.
Lots of great ideas. So I think if you're not social enough, it's actually possible to acquire that quality, given you're willing to make that effort, isn't it? Let me ask you, how do you define friendship?
That's a good question.
Should we start with Rowie then?
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting question, because when you say, oh, this person is my friend, it makes you question yourself, but how close of a friend is this person really?
Right.
Like if you say friend, is this person your best friend, or just someone you know from the same organization, or having the same workplace? Or are you really friends that you know enough information about each other that, if, let's say also if you're in a difficult situation, this person would just be like, I'll come and help you out. So
We were talking about earlier 4 levels of friendship, right?
yeah.
What were they?
I think the furthest one, or the basic level, is acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
Of course.
And then you have a peer. So peer meaning someone in the same group, same workplace, probably same sports or whatever. And a close friend. And then you also have your best friend. Your
Wow.
BFF.
BFF?
BFF.
Yeah,
That's
it'll be
what it is.
interesting to shed some light on all 4 of them.
Yeah, right? Yeah, so I guess an acquaintance is someone that you know by name, maybe a little bit of information, but you probably wouldn't go to them for help with big tasks or to share your
Feelings.
your personal feelings
Yeah.
with, I imagine, right?
Yeah, be open with, like,
Yeah.
People that you see every day, probably.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
You'd easily say hi to them if you see them like walking somewhere.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
An example for me would be in my local family mart. I guess.
Right. Yeah.
There's a guy behind the counter, and whenever I see him, it's like, "Hey, genki desu ka?" And he's like, "Hoi hoi hoi," and we have a nice little just a tiny conversation
Yeah.
about weather or something.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't tell him my deep secrets or anything
You
like
would go
that.
to Family Mart and be like, my friend, I'm so sad today.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that creepy.
No. Yeah, right. That's important to know, right? The difference between an acquaintance and the next one's a peer.
Peer.
Yeah,
Mm.
A
peer.
peer, I guess this could be someone in your class
Mm-hmm.
or in your workplace
Mm-hmm.
that, again, you don't know that well.
Yeah.
But maybe you've worked with a little bit or
Yeah.
you study with a little bit. You play with a little bit in your circles,
Mhm.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's true because your classmates, you see them every day, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you know a lot of information about them.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, you know them perhaps at the surface level. Maybe you've talked about what's your favorite Japanese food, but other than that, you don't really.
You make small
Yeah.
talks.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Very
Yeah.
basic questioning.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Derek, would you like to explain the third stage for us, which is friends? Good friends?
Close friends.
Close friends.
Yeah.
Close friends.
Close friends and then best friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I guess
wow.
there's four
close
stages.
friend and friend would probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Close friends. I would say maybe a close friend is someone you've known for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someone that you grew up with, who you shared the same school with, or maybe you went on holiday with.
Mhm.
Someone who's a close friend. A close friend, I would say, yes, you would share your maybe your personal feelings, be more open with,
Yeah.
rather than acquaintance and peer. You would be more, I would say, you would communicate more on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I think with a close friend, you'd probably see them more regularly
Mm.
Mm.
as well. You'd arrange to meet each other more.
Yes.
With an acquaintance, you wouldn't arrange that.
Yeah.
You do activities together. You go out on picnics, maybe bars
Yeah,
and
yeah,
parties.
right.
Yes.
You'd
Yeah.
invite each other to
You invite each other.
events,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
How about best friends? How do you define best friends?
I think it's someone you turn to when you've got a real big problem. It's like, oh God, oh, my wife has left me. Help! Who do I call? I know, it's John Smith, my best friend.
Yeah.
Hi, John. You got to I want to cry.
Yeah.
So that's maybe a good example.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
that's a great example.
Yeah.
So someone you turn to who you really trust
In
Mm.
your weakest moment,
in your weakest
weakest
moments.
moment.
you trust them to
Yeah.
support you, right?
Yes.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah.
I also think that best friends, I was talking to Mike about this earlier actually, are people who you can actually get into an argument with
Mm.
and then go through that argument in a very mature way. Like
Right.
you don't fight and then end the friendship
Correct.
because you value the relationship so much.
Yeah.
Like, of course, everybody grows, right? And a best friend is
Mm.
someone who would probably grow with you. So
True.
you and that person would probably change along the way.
Mhm.
Right.
And as this happens, you'll probably get into arguments because you're becoming different people.
Of course.
But you still find a way to reconcile these differences and
Yeah.
maybe talk it through. Maybe you won't talk for 3 days, 5 days, but then
Mhm.
after a while you'll feel like, Mike, I miss you.
Let's go for a drink.
Let's go for a drink. And
Sort
then-
things out.
Yeah, talk things out. So.
Yeah, and I think maybe to add to your point,
Yeah.
Roy, this close connection that you have that you want to fight for to keep. I think it often comes from best friends being in very, very important parts of your life.
Mm.
Often, right?
Right.
One of my best friends I met when I moved to Japan, and it was a brand new country. I was a little nervous but excited as well, and he was also in the same situation. So we enjoyed it together, and it just really made us super close. And then we moved to Saudi Arabia, and we lived together in Saudi Arabia for 2 years. We had fights, of course, and we had some scary situations, and I felt really sad sometimes, and he helped me to feel better, and I did the same. So this kind of almost like a family bond, we almost feel like brothers, I suppose.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think you guys actually shed some light on very, very sort of deep fundamental problems that people face with friendship. Now, my next question to you guys is that making friends could probably be easy for a few people. That brings me back to the first question: what do you do to become more social? You join clubs, hypnotherapy, and of course, your parents can always encourage you, put you in drama classes and all those sort of things. But I think maintaining strong friendships is something that we all struggle with. I do. I don't know about you guys, but I personally do.
Sure.
So how do you, what are some of the tips you would like to share with our students about maintaining or keeping friendships?
I think for me, because I live in Japan now, and a lot of my best friends or closest friends are back home in the Philippines. Actually, one of them is in Korea, one is in the Philippines, and then I'm in Japan. So there's time difference, there's our own careers, so we're always busy. But we make it a point to find the time to schedule like online, especially with the pandemic, it's like online Zoom conversations. That's just, to catch up, to get updates about each other, to check in. How are you doing? Are you feeling okay? What's happening with your life? And this takes effort. It's like
It does. Yeah.
It's like planning a meeting in school. But if you value that friendship enough, you're gonna find time in your own busy life, and they will find time in their own busy lives, and like have a Saturday where half a day you can just spend together online, just chatting with each other. And most of the time, like at the beginning, you'll feel a little bit apprehensive or nervous about it because, oh man, I have to be online talking to my friends. Like I can be outside with my friends here in Japan. Sometimes you feel like that too.
Yeah.
However, once the conversation starts, it just flows, and you don't even realize how long you've been talking to each other because you have that bond, right? You have that friendship. But if you don't make an effort to keep that friendship, or even just checking in, sending a message or whatnot, then I think it's going to be hard to keep that friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's a good advice. How about you guys?
Yeah, I think just as Roy was saying, I think it's very important, communication, one of the biggest things. And we sometimes forget. It's so easy to communicate, but because we live busy lives, very busy lives, it's very, sometimes difficult to,
even remember.
Just remember
to message
you have best friends. As Rory says, one of my best friends, I consider myself to have maybe one or two.
John Smith.
John Smith. So let's say John Smith, yes. My best friend John Smith lives in UK, my home country. But he also has a family, and he's married with kids. And we live in 2 different countries, different time zones, as Rory said. And yes, it can be very difficult. So the best thing is to try and find time to try and make time to communicate. Have a Zoom call or a Skype, and just try and maintain the relationship that way.
Yeah, I mean, with the changing technology, I think it's easier to keep in touch.
Yeah, right.
And what does Mike think about it?
Yeah, same as you guys. Just checking in with your best buds every now and then. For example, I'll check my line on my Facebook, and I'll see when was the last time we messaged, and I go, oh my God, 2 months ago? Oh man, okay, I gotta send something. And just send a little message or a funny picture or something, and you can just kind of refresh the feelings with your best friend there. And then another example, I have my friend in the UK also, his name's Matthew, and he has a beautiful wife and 2 very beautiful children and a dog and a house and a job and a mortgage and all this stuff. So it's hard for him to find time, but every 3-4 months we make sure we sit down, have a good phone conversation, usually a video call, and he shows me his kids and I'll show him Japan and my girlfriend and all that kind of stuff, and it's great. We just get to reconnect every couple of months. I think with a best friend, like you were saying, Rowie, even if you don't speak to them for a while, when you do, it just
You can always pick up
flows.
from where you left.
Yeah, it feels like yesterday.
I have one last question, which I think a lot of us struggle to understand, is when you run into conflicts with friends, how do you resolve them, with our changing personalities, changing times, of course, the pandemic. We have learned a lot about life and relationships. So what would be your one piece of advice to everyone here who's listening to us of how do you mend these conflicts with friends?
I got to say, don't hold a grudge. Yes.
Yeah, don't hold a grudge. For some some listeners,
Yeah.
don't hold a grudge. Don't hold on to negative feelings.
That's right. Yeah, don't hold on to negativity. Yes. Life is too short, I think, and if you have best friends in your life, then you have to keep them. It's someone you can trust and someone you have really good times with. It's not very good to just reflect on only the negative fights, the fighting that you might have with friends. So it's very important to maybe talk again. Maybe when everything's calmed down, it's
Right.
like maybe let's chat again in next week or the week after, and let's just
To reflect and
Just
rationally
reflect.
and then make an effort. to
Yes.
talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, Rowie?
For me, one of the most important things with my friends is you have to be honest, but honest in a caring way. Because like sometimes when we're angry, our initial reaction is to just be like, okay, we're friends. I'll be honest. I'll tell you. Like, you're a horrible friend right now because you're not like listening to me, for example.
Yeah.
But you have to choose your words when you're trying to be honest with your friends because they're still your friends even if you're angry. So you have to think about what they're going to feel too. And you have to think where they are coming from. They're
Right.
probably also upset. They're probably also feeling some negative things. That's why you guys are not meeting eye to eye at the moment. One thing that I've learned is you can take time before you say your feelings to your friend. If in the moment you guys are arguing and it's not working out, you can just say, okay, let's take a time out. Think about why we're feeling this way or what our real issues are.
Reflect on what happened.
Yeah. And then when we're both feeling better, we can talk about it in a
Right.
more calm and rational manner.
Correct.
Because if you just go at it when you're angry, sometimes it doesn't really go anywhere. You're just both angry at each other. So
So to be mindful of
Yes.
each other's feelings. Okay.
Yeah.
And just to add, I think when you do reflect, when you come back to the your friend again, and it's important not to say, okay, you should do this, and I think
Yeah.
you think I think you. It's all about how you can improve. I think so.
the reflection goes both ways. You reflect about yourself
Yes.
and what you probably did wrong.
Right.
And you also think about why you feel hurt with what your friend did.
Absolutely.
So it's not just, it's your fault, you're the bad person, you're
Yeah.
the bad friend. It's not like that. You should think about what you did wrong too. Because it takes two, right?
Right.
It can't be just your friend who's like, maybe like in the situation, it can't be your friend only who's wrong. Both of you did something to make that, like, to get to that
Situation,
argument.
right?
Yeah.
Two
Definitely.
key pronouns: I and we. I think we can do this better. I think I can do this better. For example.
Right? And I am not perfect as well.
Really?
I make mistakes, and when you get angry, people tend to think, "Oh, I didn't make the mistake; it was you."
Yeah.
So reflection, and one thing I like to add, I think, ultimately, your best friend is always wants the best for you.
Mm.
Right? That's why you're best friends, because you trust each other
Correct.
and you want to help each other enjoy your lives
Yeah.
in the best way you can. So when you're reflecting and thinking, oh, we had that big fight. Oh, I know he was just trying to help, or I know she meant to help me. She was trying to give me advice.
Mm.
Think about why your friend said it in the first place. They're not
Mm.
attacking you. They're trying to give you advice and help you.
Correct.
Perhaps they did it in a bad way.
Yeah.
They didn't make it clear.
Yeah.
So first start there. Like, oh, maybe it wasn't clear. We should discuss what happened.
Yeah. And I think at such times it's almost crucial to focus your attention on all the good memories that you have created.
Yeah, look at some pictures.
Yeah, you know,
we did that.
maybe just think about the happy times,
Yeah.
except for just focusing on the negativity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like what you said. Yes, Rowie.
I just wanted to add, because the people who are listening are some of them are probably students. When we were younger, we were not like at this like mature level where we didn't have fights with our friends that turned into like bad situations.
Yeah.
It took time. Well, at least for me. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah?
about
No, of course,
that
of
gentleman
course.
over
It's
here.
a journey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It took time for me to
Yeah.
understand how to keep friendships, how
Yeah.
to maintain friendships. It wasn't like I know what I have to do to
Yeah.
keep my best friends and my relationships. It takes time. So don't feel like because you're listening to us and it sounds like we're so good at it, it takes time.
Yeah.
Don't like pressure yourself into I have to be the bestest friend right away. It happens gradually.
Yeah. And to that point, we might look confident on the outside, but I think everybody has their self-conscious feelings underneath.
Of course.
Yes.
And it's okay to have those feelings.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's important to understand.
It's also
Everyone
important to
has
learn from each other's experiences, which is why we're sharing our experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Mm-hmm.
that brings us to the end of this topic.
Yep.
We really hope you guys could benefit from listening to us and maybe try and use some of these tips.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Try and, as I did with my parents, model some of the good things you heard here. And thank you very much for listening.
If you have any comments or reactions about our podcast or about topics that you want us to talk about in the future, you can send an email
or leave them in the comment section.
Yeah, or
Yeah. Leave them in the comment section where that is. We will be doing more podcasts every month, and you can find them at this same location. So please tune in again. The next topic will be
About summer vacation.
okay.
I'm very excited and looking forward to it. So I hope
Thank
you
you,
guys are
everyone.
too.
This
Thank
has been the
KUIS
KUIS
Podcast. We had Rowie, we had Mike, we had Derek, and Pratik. Everybody,
See ya.
Thank you.
see ya.
Goodbye.
Bye.